Over the past few years, it seems like Stellantis has been on a path to self-destruction. First, they raised prices of their trucks and SUVs. Then they stopped building one of the best V8 engines ever made.
You've heard the saying, you either innovate or you die. Well, Stellantis took that to heart. Except they tried to do both at once and nearly killed off some of their most iconic brands.
That was the scream of the most power-dense internal combustion engine Dodge has ever installed in a muscle car.
First, they raised prices. Then they took away one of the most beloved engines in automotive history. If you were watching, you'd have thought Stellantis was on a path to self-destruction. Then they dropped something so unexpected that it has Ford and Chevy both staring wide-eyed and wondering if they've been asleep at the wheel. Is it too late for Stellantis to recover? Or is this announcement the spark that will reignite their legacy?
And the turbo engine is not a bad engine, and actually it can give you the same horsepower and torque as the Hemi, but that doesn't matter to our customer.
Stellantis' major fails, a roadmap to recovery, expanded. Stellantis, the parent company of iconic brands like Dodge, Ram, and Jeep, has had a rollercoaster ride in recent years. From market dominance to questionable decisions that left fans scratching their heads, the company seemed to be heading straight toward disaster.
It had a banner year in 2023, but 6 months later, the company is struggling.
Let's take a closer look at the major mistakes Stellantis made and explore how these failures might be the very catalyst for their comeback. To start, we have to talk about the decision that sent shockwaves through the performance car world. The end of the legendary Hemi V8 engine. The Hemi has been a symbol of American muscle cars for decades. It powered everything from the Dodge Charger and Challenger to Ram trucks. Its deep, throaty growl and raw, visceral power made it the heartbeat of these iconic machines. But in a move that left enthusiasts and industry experts stunned, Stellantis announced the discontinuation of the Hemi V8 engine. Why? They wanted to modernize and push for electric vehicles, embracing the future while abandoning their core customer base who loved the rumble of the V8. At first, it seemed like a bad dream. How could a company with such a rich muscle car history just walk away from what made them legendary? The Hemi V8 was at the heart of everything Dodge and Ram stood for. It wasn't just an engine, it was the embodiment of raw American performance. Killing it off wasn't just a mistake. It was a direct slap to the face of loyal customers who had come to love and expect that muscle car roar. It was the sound that defined the road. In the place of the Hemi, Stellantis introduced electric muscle cars, like the Dodge Charger Daytona EV. Now, while electric vehicles have their place in the automotive world, a muscle car without a loud engine, it was like ordering a steak and getting tofu. Not only did Stellantis decide to push electric muscle cars without consulting the very people who made the brand what it is today, but they also added insult to injury by installing fake V8 sounds into the exhaust system. Yes, fake sounds. The moment Stellantis revealed the Charger Daytona, the internet exploded with criticism. Fans were furious. You could hear a cricket in the background as Dodge revved the engine, hoping to spark excitement. The response was, well, nothing. The Charger Daytona didn't sound like a muscle car. It didn't feel like a muscle car. It felt like a betrayal. Then came the price tag. $63,480 for an electric muscle car. That price is steep for an EV, let alone one that nobody asked for. What made it even worse was that these cars weren't flying off the lot. In fact, many dealerships were so desperate to sell the Charger Daytona that they began offering huge discounts to their own employees, some even leasing the cars for a fraction of the cost. Stellantis' pricing strategy seemed more like a fire sale than the launch of a highly anticipated new model. The unfortunate reality for Stellantis is that they misread the market. While electric cars are the future, there was no indication that muscle car lovers, who had grown up idolizing the rumble of a V8, were ready to trade that in for a silent, electric alternative. By killing off the Hemi and replacing it with something that didn't even come close to replicating what made their cars iconic, Stellantis alienated a significant portion of its customer base. But let's not be all doom and gloom. While Stellantis made mistakes, it's not all bad news. As they continue to recover, some key decisions could help turn things around. One of the most notable moves has been the decision to bring back Tim Kuniskis, the man who created the Hemi V8 engine. Kuniskis is now the CEO of Dodge and Ram, and he's making waves. He's already publicly expressed interest in bringing back the Hemi V8, something that's making fans seriously optimistic about the future of these iconic brands. Why is Kuniskis' return so important? Well, he's the man responsible for creating the engine that has been the heartbeat of Stellantis' muscle car lineup for years. Bringing him back shows that Stellantis is listening to its fans and acknowledging that the future of performance cars doesn't have to be completely electric, at least not yet. The shift toward electric vehicles is inevitable, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for powerful internal combustion engines, especially when it comes to muscle cars. But bringing back the Hemi is easier said than done. The current market is moving toward more sustainable, fuel-efficient options, and emissions regulations are tightening every year. If Stellantis plans to bring back the Hemi V8, they're going to have to figure out how to make the engine comply with these stricter standards without losing its signature power and sound. It's a challenge, but it's not impossible. If anyone can pull it off, it's Kuniskis, who has the experience and knowledge to navigate these challenges. The truth is, Stellantis doesn't have to completely abandon its legacy in favor of electric vehicles. The key is finding a balance between the two. The electric revolution is already here, and Stellantis has a chance to lead the charge in that space with the right models. But at the same time, they cannot afford to completely ignore their core customer base. The Hemi V8, the roar of muscle cars, and the power of their trucks are what built the Stellantis brands into what they are today. Losing sight of that would be catastrophic. The Hemi V8's return could be the spark Stellantis needs to reignite interest in their muscle cars and trucks. But will they act quickly enough? Or will the momentum they've lost in recent years be too much to overcome? One thing's for sure. If Stellantis can bring back the Hemi V8, it would be a win not just for the company, but for performance car lovers everywhere. The Hemi has a special place in automotive history, and bringing it back could restore faith in the brand. But this won't be an easy journey. There's a lot of work to be done to rebuild what's been lost. The return of the Hemi. Could it be real? Let's face it, there's something special about a V8 engine, especially when it's the legendary Hemi. When it comes to American muscle cars and trucks,
You may or may not have heard the name Stellantis, but you certainly know at least some of its 14 brands, 4 of them American.
the Hemi V8 has been a symbol of raw power, speed, and American engineering excellence. For years, the rumble of a Hemi was the unmistakable soundtrack of muscle cars, whether it was in the Dodge Charger, Challenger, or the Ram trucks that have become a staple for truck enthusiasts. But when Stellantis made the decision to phase out the Hemi V8 in favor of electric powertrains and smaller turbocharged engines, it left a massive hole in the heart of its customer base. The death of the Hemi wasn't just a business decision. It felt personal to the people who had made the Dodge Charger and Ram trucks household names. The Hemi V8 was more than just an engine. It was a promise of unparalleled performance, heart-stopping acceleration, and that signature engine sound that could be heard from miles away. To say that fans were upset would be an understatement. The loss of the Hemi V8 was a blow to both the brands and their fans, many of whom had built years of loyalty based on the performance and power these vehicles delivered. For years, Stellantis has focused on shifting toward electric and hybrid models, attempting to align with the future of the auto industry. But in doing so, they've alienated a major portion of their fan base, the muscle car purists who wanted their cars loud, powerful, and capable of making an impact on the road. Stellantis tried to reinvent itself as a modern, forward-thinking company, but in doing so, they disconnected from the very essence of what made Dodge and Ram famous. Electric muscle cars, like the Dodge Charger Daytona EV, lacked the soul and character that made these cars unique. The quiet, whirring sound of an electric motor just doesn't compare to the roar of a Hemi V8. But then, something unexpected happened. After years of making mistakes and watching their core customers drift away, Stellantis made a shocking announcement. The Hemi V8 might be coming back. And with this announcement, it feels like they've finally realized that while the future of cars may be electric, you can't just throw away the past, especially when that past helped build your brand. Tim Kuniskis, the CEO of Ram and Dodge, is the key player in this potential return. For those who don't know, Kuniskis is the man credited with reviving the Hemi V8 when it was first brought back into the Chrysler lineup in the early 2000s. Kuniskis has a deep understanding of performance vehicles and what enthusiasts truly want, which makes his return to Stellantis such a game-changer. Kuniskis has publicly stated that there's a good chance the Hemi V8 will return to the lineup in the near future, with an updated version that meets modern emissions and fuel efficiency standards. This is the kind of news that muscle car lovers have been waiting for. The return of the Hemi V8 is more than just a chance for Dodge and Ram to redeem themselves. It's a chance for Stellantis to reconnect with its roots and give fans the performance they've been craving. But how will Stellantis make the Hemi work in today's automotive world? The emission standards and fuel efficiency regulations that have been set by governments around the world are more stringent than ever. The days of gas-guzzling engines are quickly fading, and if Stellantis wants to bring the Hemi back, it will need to address these concerns head-on. One of the challenges that Stellantis will face is how to make the Hemi V8 more fuel-efficient without sacrificing its power and performance. The Hemi has always been known for its incredible torque and horsepower, and if Stellantis wants to stay competitive, they'll need to ensure that the new Hemi V8 can deliver the same performance without running afoul of the ever-tightening emissions regulations. Here's where the return of the Hemi V8 becomes even more important. It's not just about restoring a piece of automotive history. It's about giving Stellantis the edge it needs to keep up with competitors like Ford and Chevy. Both Ford and Chevy continue to offer V8 options in their trucks and muscle cars, and while Ford has made huge strides with its hybrid trucks, and Chevy has focused on performance with the new Corvette, there's still a large market for enthusiasts who want that classic engine experience. If Stellantis can bring the Hemi V8 back in a way that meets modern standards, it will not only boost the performance of their muscle cars and trucks, but it will also bring back a sense of pride and excitement for the brand. Enthusiasts have long been loyal to Dodge and Ram because of their commitment to performance and raw power. The Hemi V8 is an integral part of that legacy. Bringing it back would be a way to tell fans that Stellantis hasn't forgotten where it came from, and it's ready to make a comeback, one that's not just about embracing the future, but also honoring the past. However, bringing back the Hemi won't be a simple task. Emissions regulations are stricter than ever, and Stellantis will have to navigate these challenges in order to make the Hemi V8 viable for modern vehicles. That means reworking some of the components of the engine, possibly adjusting its fuel consumption, and ensuring that it meets all the latest standards set by environmental agencies. It's a complex undertaking, but it's one that Stellantis is fully capable of. There's also the question of how Stellantis will integrate the Hemi V8 into its current lineup of vehicles. While the Charger and Challenger have traditionally been the home of the Hemi V8, it's possible that we could see the return of the engine in other models as well, maybe even in the Ram trucks. Imagine a Ram 1500 or 2500 with the Hemi V8 under the hood, offering both power and durability that fans expect from the brand. The Hemi could give Stellantis a huge edge over competitors like Ford and Chevy, especially in the truck market. But the real challenge for Stellantis is how to balance the Hemi V8's return with their ongoing push for electric and hybrid vehicles. The world is moving toward cleaner, greener vehicles, and Stellantis will need to find a way to offer both powerful combustion engines and eco-friendly options without alienating any of their customer base. This means integrating the Hemi V8 into a diverse lineup of vehicles that includes electric muscle cars and hybrid trucks, creating a balanced offering that appeals to a wider range of consumers. Stellantis needs to look ahead to the future, but also recognize the importance of the past. The return of the Hemi V8 would be a huge step in the right direction, not just for muscle car enthusiasts, but for the brand as a whole. If Stellantis can successfully navigate the regulatory challenges and integrate the Hemi into their new lineup, they could position themselves as a leader in both performance and innovation, Jeep's misstep, and a glimmer of hope. What happens when a brand that's synonymous with rugged, affordable off-roading starts pricing itself out of reach? That's the big question facing Jeep right now. The very thing that made Jeep a go-to choice for adventure-loving drivers, affordability, is slipping through their fingers. Can Stellantis save the brand, or is Jeep destined to be another overpriced luxury SUV? Jeep, a brand that's long been synonymous with rugged off-road capability, has seen better days. As much as Stellantis has focused on revitalizing its muscle cars and trucks, Jeep has quietly faced a number of issues that could potentially tarnish its legacy as the go-to brand for off-road enthusiasts. While Jeep continues to have a loyal following, it's become increasingly clear that the brand is facing challenges that need to be addressed sooner rather than later. The most pressing of these challenges, rising prices. Jeep's price hikes have become a hot topic among consumers. Take, for example, the 2025 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, which now starts at $70,740. That's a massive price increase from previous years. A few years ago, you could pick up a fully loaded Wrangler Rubicon for much less, and it offered excellent value for money considering its off-road capabilities. But now, Jeep has pushed the price of its flagship off-roader into luxury vehicle territory, which raises an important question. Are Jeep vehicles still worth the cost? While the Wrangler remains a beloved model for those seeking a true off-road experience, the higher price point is making it less appealing to potential buyers. With Jeep's market competitors, like Toyota and Ford, offering more affordable off-road alternatives such as the Toyota 4Runner and Ford Bronco, the question of value is increasingly becoming a barrier for buyers who might have previously been all in on the Jeep brand. One of the primary reasons for these price hikes is Jeep's attempt to add new features and technologies, including improved axles for off-roading, a more refined interior, and the introduction of new exterior color options. For example, Jeep has rolled out some exciting colors, like a deep metallic blue and a unique army green that pays homage to its military roots. These options are visually appealing and add an extra layer of customization for buyers. However, the new design and added features haven't been enough to offset the soaring prices that are pushing the Wrangler and other models out of the reach of many consumers. Jeep's pricing strategy is starting to create a noticeable gap between its rugged image and the increasingly luxurious nature of its vehicles. What was once seen as an affordable, functional off-roader is now viewed by some as an overpriced toy for affluent buyers. Sure, the Jeep is still capable, and its off-road credentials remain largely unmatched, but at this price point, some buyers are questioning whether the vehicle is still worth it, and it's not just the Wrangler that's been affected by these price hikes. The rest of the Jeep lineup, including the Grand Cherokee and the Cherokee, have also seen significant price increases. While some of these increases are justified by new technologies, like upgraded interior features and enhanced driving aids, the reality is that Jeep's pricing strategy is beginning to alienate the very demographic that has made them a beloved brand. Adventurous, practical-minded buyers who want a reliable off-roader at a reasonable price. While Jeep has been raising prices, they've also been making subtle but important improvements to the Wrangler's design. The 2025 Wrangler Rubicon comes with upgraded axles that make it more durable and better suited for challenging trails, which is a major win for off-roading enthusiasts. Jeep also introduced a fresh look for the front grille, giving the vehicle a more modern, aggressive stance. While these updates are nice, they don't completely address the elephant in the room, the rising cost of the vehicle. On the interior front, Jeep has worked hard to modernize the dashboard and improve the overall quality of materials used in the cabin. These improvements are certainly appreciated, and they bring a more contemporary feel to the Jeep's traditionally rugged interior. But again, this modernized interior has come with an increased price tag, leading to more questions about whether the vehicle is still the affordable off-roader it once was. The reality is that as competitors like Ford and Toyota offer more affordable alternatives, Jeep is being forced to balance its image as a rugged, affordable off-roader with the desire to cater to more luxury-minded consumers. The result is a vehicle that, while still capable, now feels somewhat out of place in the market. Jeep is no longer the budget off-roading option that it used to be. It's now entering the realm of luxury, where the competition is fierce, and price sensitivity plays a huge role in customer decision-making. However, despite all these challenges, there is still hope for Jeep. One of the reasons the Jeep brand has remained so strong is its passionate fan base. Jeep owners love their vehicles because they represent more than just a mode of transportation. They represent a lifestyle. Jeep is still associated with freedom, adventure, and the great outdoors. This brand loyalty gives Jeep a significant advantage over its competitors. If Stellantis can figure out how to balance these rising prices with the brand's core values, there's a chance for Jeep to reclaim its spot as the top choice for off-road enthusiasts. What Stellantis needs to do is make sure they don't lose sight of what Jeep represents. The Wrangler, in particular, needs to stay true to its roots as a tough, durable vehicle that can take on any trail. At the same time, Stellantis should consider introducing more affordable trims to bring the Wrangler back into the reach of the average buyer. Jeep has always been about being functional, not flashy, and finding a way to return to that spirit could go a long way in winning back the customer base that feels alienated by the rising prices. It's not just about pricing, though. Jeep's future lies in offering a well-rounded package, vehicles that combine the rugged off-road capabilities with the comfort and modern features that today's consumers demand. It's a delicate balance that many automakers struggle to strike, but if Jeep can get it right, they have a solid future ahead of them. Ram's crazy prices. Can they fix it? Ram trucks have always been a staple in the automotive world. Known for their strength, durability, and versatility, Ram vehicles have earned the loyalty of countless truck enthusiasts. Whether you're using it for work or for leisure, Ram trucks have long been a symbol of American toughness. However, recent pricing increases have caused many to question whether Ram is starting to lose its way. As the prices for Ram trucks soar, so does the concern among loyal customers. Are they still getting the same value for their money? And if not, what will Stellantis do to turn things around? Let's dive into this issue and break it down, starting with the 2025 Ram 1500 Warlock Edition. For a truck that was once considered a more affordable entry-level option, this model is now priced at $58,240. When you compare this to similar trucks from a few years ago, it's clear that the price has climbed substantially. A few years ago, you could pick up a well-equipped Ram 1500 for much less, and it would offer fantastic value for the price. But now, the Warlock Edition, which was supposed to be an entry-level truck, is approaching the territory of luxury pickups, leaving many potential buyers asking, what happened? One of the major issues here is that while the price has increased, the features and performance haven't kept up with the cost. Sure, you're getting a reliable, tough truck, but for many buyers, that price tag is hard to justify when competitors like Ford and Chevy offer similarly priced trucks with comparable, if not better, features. At nearly $60,000, the Warlock Edition should be offering more than just basic reliability. It should be providing exceptional performance, cutting-edge technology, and comfort that make it worth the price. Instead, it seems like Ram is focusing too much on pushing the price higher while failing to deliver more value. And it doesn't end with the Warlock Edition. The 2024 Ram 2500 with the Cummins turbo diesel engine is priced at a jaw-dropping $81,050. For a pickup truck, that's a hefty sum, especially considering that similar heavy-duty trucks from competitors are often priced lower for comparable specs. The price increases have made it clear that Ram is targeting a more affluent customer base. But the question is, are these higher prices sustainable? Will customers be willing to pay premium prices when other brands are offering more competitive pricing for the same or even better features? The pricing strategy of Ram is causing serious concern. Historically, Ram trucks have been known for offering great value, but that reputation is starting to slip. Buyers are starting to wonder if the increased prices are justified and whether Stellantis is pricing itself out of the market. Other brands like Ford and Chevy are still offering competitive prices on their trucks, with new models that provide exceptional value. So why are Ram's trucks becoming so expensive? One of the factors driving this price increase is the changing consumer demands. Today's truck buyers are looking for more than just strength and durability. They want luxury features, modern technology, and improved comfort. While it's understandable that Ram is trying to meet these demands by adding more technology to their vehicles, it's clear that these changes aren't resonating with their core customer base. The price hikes are alienating loyal buyers who were once attracted to Ram's balance of affordability and quality. Ram's attempt to break into the luxury market is causing them to lose touch with the truck enthusiasts who built their brand. But there is still hope. Stellantis has an opportunity to right the ship and bring Ram back to its roots. One way to do this would be to refocus on value, offering high-quality trucks at prices that are still affordable for the average buyer. Ram needs to go back to what made them great: tough, reliable trucks that don't break the bank. By doing so, they can appeal to a broader customer base, including those who need a reliable workhorse without the hefty price tag that comes with luxury vehicles. In addition to pricing, Ram's current offerings are missing one critical factor: variety. While they've increased their luxury models, Ram has failed to offer enough affordable options for buyers who don't need all the high-end features. Stellantis has a history of offering trucks that cater to a wide range of needs, from affordable basic models to high-end luxury pickups. By returning to this strategy, they could cater to buyers at all price points, restoring the balance between affordability and performance. Another issue contributing to Ram's pricing woes is the lack of transparency about where the money is going. Many buyers are questioning whether the price hikes are going toward meaningful improvements or if they're simply being used to increase profit margins. If Stellantis wants to regain trust, they need to be more transparent about how the money is being spent and what buyers are getting in return. Consumers want to know that they're getting their money's worth, especially in an era where options are abundant and buyers have more power than ever before. The future of Ram will depend heavily on how Stellantis handles these issues. If they can bring prices down while still offering the quality and performance that Ram is known for, they'll be able to recapture their audience. They also need to reintroduce models that appeal to budget-conscious buyers, something that was once a hallmark of the brand. By offering affordable options alongside their luxury models, Stellantis can expand their customer base while maintaining the rugged, reliable reputation that Ram has built over the years. But it's not just about pricing, it's also about innovation. Ram needs to step up its game and offer features that set it apart from the competition. This means investing in more advanced technologies, better towing capabilities, and improvements to fuel efficiency. If Stellantis can manage to deliver on these fronts, they'll be able to position Ram as not just a truck for the wealthy, but a truck for everyone who needs a dependable, high-performance vehicle. The challenge for Stellantis is to balance the desire for more luxury features with the brand's legacy of rugged utility. Ram trucks don't have to be overpriced to offer great features. They simply need to be smart about how they add value to their vehicles. By focusing on practicality, affordability, and innovation, Stellantis could transform Ram into a brand that appeals to a broader audience without sacrificing the core values that made it great. The big announcement. Could this be Stellantis' redemption? After years of missteps and questionable decisions, Stellantis might finally be on the path to redemption. The big news? The return of the legendary Hemi V8. Yes, after abandoning the engine that defined their muscle cars and trucks, Stellantis has brought back the Hemi V8 under the leadership of Tim Kuniskis, the very man who revived the engine in the first place. This announcement couldn't have come at a better time. Stellantis has been grappling with high prices, questionable product decisions, and an identity crisis. Bringing back the Hemi V8 is a bold move, but it's also a necessary one. Dodge, Ram, and Jeep have a loyal fan base that has always craved power, performance, and that unmistakable engine sound. By reintroducing the Hemi, Stellantis can tap into nostalgia while signaling that they haven't forgotten their roots. However, it won't be easy. There are emissions regulations and fuel efficiency standards to meet, and Stellantis will need to work hard to adapt the Hemi V8 for today's market. But the return of the Hemi is a powerful symbol of hope for Stellantis fans. It's a sign that the company is finally listening to its customers and making moves that could restore their faith in the brand. Will it be enough to turn things around? If Stellantis plays their cards right, the return of the Hemi could be just the beginning of a new chapter for Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. Time will tell, but the future is looking a lot more promising for Stellantis and its iconic brands. Can the return of the Hemi V8 really turn Stellantis around? It's a bold move, but it could be just what Dodge, Ram, and Jeep need to get back on top. What do you think? Will Stellantis make a comeback, or is it too late? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.